I figured it out. All right, attention millennials and Gen Zers who don't have a good relationship with either or both of your parents, listen up because I think I just figured out why. When our parents, so Generation X or baby boomers, whenever our parents were growing up, they were raised on blind obedience, which basically means if you're a kid, you listen to adults no matter what. They were raised to sit down, shut up, let adults speak, listen to adults at all times, respect adult authority, all of those things. And if you don't do those things, then you're a disrespectful child. They were also raised that it was okay to hit your children if they weren't doing what you wanted them to do. And then their parents told them, once you have kids, you get to do the exact same thing to your kids. So like straight off the bat, our parents' childhoods were just completely ruined because they spent it being blindly trusting in adults, always. Not to mention basically forced to get married and have children so they could keep the cycle going. So when our generations came around, so millennials and Gen Z, when we came around and decided what you're doing is toxic and I'm not going to deal with it, our parents got pissed because not only were their childhoods ruined, but now they also don't get to control this little baby that they were told to have because they would be able to control that child whenever that child got of age. In fact, a lot of our parents at that time had kids because they were looking forward to that part of having somebody they can control always, who always has to listen to them, who always has to do what they say. Our generation said, fuck that bullshit, we're gonna do things differently, and we decided to break the toxicity. And so now there's like two generations walking around thinking that our generations are disrespectful because we won't put up with the bullshit that they put up with. So obviously they're pissed. I mean, I get it now. This doesn't excuse their behavior whatsoever, but like, I get it, you know? Everybody needs therapy. We all need therapy. Okay, I feel like I need to hit this again because some of y'all are still not understanding. Maybe if I go about it a different way. Okay, check this out real quick. It is very difficult to put your trust into someone who's putting their hands on you, especially if that same person is saying, I'm doing this because I love you. Because you know what that's gonna do? That child who was hit their entire lives, who is told, I'm doing this because I love you, more than likely, they're going to end up being in a domestic violence situation whenever they become an adult. Especially relationships. This is a huge one. If your own parents, who are supposed to keep you safe and supposed to make you feel safe, are saying, I'm hitting you because I love you, then what's the difference between that and their domestic partner doing it? There is no difference. It's still abuse, regardless of who's doing it. Parents can say all day long, I beat because I want to discipline. No. If you can't find a way to discipline your kid without beating them, you shouldn't be a parent. I don't need to have kids to understand that. That's logic. A lot of y'all shouldn't have became parents. I want to use this comment to make another point. Your kids are not supposed to be scared of you. There is a big difference between being scared of somebody and respecting them. The reason that you don't do something bad shouldn't be, I'm scared my mom is gonna beat me if I do this. It should be instead, I respect my mom enough to not do this. Those are the type of kids that you want to have. Because if their only excuse for not doing it is they're scared you're gonna beat them, that's gonna be their mindset for the rest of their lives. Not, this is a bad thing that I shouldn't do. It's gonna be, mom's gonna beat me if I do this. Even as an adult. I remember one time my mom beat me half to death because I was washing the dishes and I didn't wash the silverware first. She didn't explain to me why I need to wash the silverware first. She didn't say nothing. She just beat the shit out of me and said, wash the silverware first. I didn't learn you need to wash the silverware first because those are the ones that go in your mouths. I learned you need to wash the silverware first so mama doesn't beat you. Just some food for thought there. I swear, trying to get these older generations to take accountability for anything is like talking to a fucking brick wall. Let's make this like abundantly clear here. There is not one person on this planet that I respect just because they're older than me. Respect your elders? Fuck that. No. Every single person on this planet who has my respect has earned it. Just because your dad busted a nut before mine did does not mean that I automatically have to respect you. You assume that because you're older, you know everything. And I'm not saying I know everything either, because I definitely don't. But the difference between you and I is your generation is dying off. My generation is coming up. If anything, y'all should be listening to us. And where was the outrage when the parents were the ones yelling and cursing us out, disrespecting us, making us feel unsafe and unloved? Where was the outrage then? I don't understand. Now that we're not dealing with it anymore, suddenly we're disrespectful. Fuck you. This is why most of y'all are going into retirement homes. This is why. Because no one wants to deal with y'all asses anymore.